Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, light warriors, old souls, evolving beings. Thank you so much for your messages. All is well on my end. It has been a crazy few months. I'm sure a lot of you are picking up on all of the energies, and I'm going to give you some highlights and give you some suggestions as to how to handle the next 3 months. Because if you think the energy has been intense, it's just going to keep coming, but for wonderful, wonderful reasons. So, quickly, where I left off, I just wanted you to take a look at the pictures on the photo, because if you remember from, some time ago, I had seen three suns. But around the eclipse in April, it had moved to two suns. So I finally got a better picture of the two suns. And during that time, there was a lot of dragon energy. It's not quite the same at this moment. Other things are going on. But I managed to get a little clip of an actual dragon being. So the upper left picture are the two suns. Again, another view of the two suns, almost looking like dragon eyes. And you will see as you start to look into the sky, it almost looks like there's more and more eyes and more figures in the clouds. And this is not you going crazy. These are energetic relationships and things that are becoming manifest. And that part of everything that's going on is unbelievably exciting. So if you look to the lower right, you can't see so well. But if you blow that picture up, it actually, what happened was I had heard some noise, like some sparks, some noise on this porch where I was staying. And next thing you know, there's a huge poof. And I'm not kidding. That's exactly what it sounded like. And for some reason, I managed to catch it right at that time. And when you blow up, you literally see these huge lips that looks like someone's blowing you a kiss, and these eyes, and this feature. Absolutely fascinating. If I could take you through the last 90 days of what I've been through, you would not believe it. So I'm going to joke by saying the eclipse, earthquakes, equinox, electrical storms, emoji overload, energy updates, and ETs, EEEEEEEE. And what happened was I got ready to record this a couple of times. But because of literally all of the dynamics that have been going on, my energy has been needed in certain places. So I have done a lot of cleansing work, earth cleansing work, grid lines, you name it. And it has left me unavailable to really take the time to sit down and share with you everything that's going on. But again, I do thank all of you who checked in to make sure that I was okay. I got to you guys when I could, and from the very beginning, I share what I can. I don't charge, and I just want to keep you updated when I'm able without the pressure on anyone. So the reason why I'm joking about the EEEEE is because it had been a period of time and I had not posted, and I was sitting here pondering, and I'm like, I really should do something. I really should post. And this was still a few weeks ago. And all of a sudden, a light bulb in the room that I was sitting starts to flicker. Okay? And it's like bump, 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 and then bump, 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 and then because that's the only way I can describe a light bulb flickering. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, light bulbs don't flicker like that. That's totally impossible. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is that like a Morse code message? So I don't know Morse code, but I do know where to find out and how to use the Morse code program to be able to read what it says. So sure enough, I put in and I can't remember if it was dash 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 dot or dot 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 dash. I can't remember at this point. But sure enough, I put it in And what happens? The letters spell out ET. So as I'm joking, I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, well, yes, I guess I will get to the point that I will get back online and do a post. So right at this second, I'm checking to make sure, okay, my recording is still going. I am having technical problems and there is a storm brewing. So around the eclipse, as a quick recap, there was so much disinformation coming out. I was getting bombarded with energies. A lot of people were. And I had warned people about making sure that they preserve their own energy, that they don't play in the information that was coming out. And it was so true. There was so much disinformation. So I'm not going to review all of that, other than the fact that, again, you will have noted that I said there used to be 3 suns at one point. There are 2 suns. Something dramatically happened in the atmosphere, and people took note of that. But all of these misinformation techniques are to put fear into you. And this is absolutely why you don't want to buy into them, why you don't even want to play with reading them if you can help it. So just to recap, and I'm going to say this again, CERN, which was one of the big concerns around that time, and I couldn't address it yet again because I have previously. First of all, there's more than one CERN. There's a few locations around the planet. They are all taken over by the white hats. There will never be a nuclear war. Anything involved with those pieces, you must let go. We are so far past that. We've been past that since, I think, 2022, and I spoke about that. So never play into those things. Now, are we opening portals? Is the actual Earth moving forward? Are we progressing, even though many of us have different timelines? Absolutely. But this is no longer a place, no matter what fear-mongering they try, and the next 3 months should be very fascinating. Do not buy into it, okay? That's all I'm going to say about the eclipse. There have been numerous earthquakes, and the earthquakes are going to continue because Mother Earth is a living being. And as she moves and we destroy energy pockets, old matrix grid lines, to open up the true portals, to reach into the higher dimensions, all of these things are going to happen. Mama Earth is going to react. Things are going to happen. Just pay attention to where you're going. Pay attention to the vibrations you feel around you, and you will be safe, because those of us who are the light workers are being very, very well watched over, as I've said before. So in releasing these toxic energies, these toxic pockets, what happens is your body goes through so many different gyrations. It's like you're responding to Mama Earth having feelings. You're responding to her letting go. I don't care if it's across the other side of the universe. You are going to feel it. And from now, through the next 3 months, the energies are only going to get more and more intense. Look at the KP index. Look at the solar energies. Look at all the changes that are happening in the Schumann resonance. You name it. It's going to get stronger and stronger. Why? Because we are in an ascension phase. This ascension phase does something that hasn't been done in our, actually, 100,000 years, which is we're bringing our bodies with us. So what is really going to start to feel? Where are you going to feel it? How are you going to react to these energies? Well, it's different for everybody. So I've talked about different things, like, the energies flowing through your body. Sometimes you can have nausea. Sometimes you feel great. The next minute you're too exhausted to move. So this is all going to continue because of the fact that our light bodies are connecting through the stargates, through the central sun, through into our star families, and we are getting the codes to be able to one day wake up and almost have full remembrance. So we're not there yet. Some people have it. New ones being born in are coming in with all their memories, which is fantastic. And I know so many of us light workers look forward to the day we can just turn around and say, oh, that's what this was about. That's how come I'm having all these feelings, because I was in a past life or someplace I had been before. So the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, as usual, is just pay attention to where these anomalies are happening. So I have to tell you a funny story about the earthquakes. I don't remember the day now, but as some of you know, I used to live in New Jersey. And when I lived in New Jersey, not only did I have a beautiful property near the Pennsylvania border, but I also worked in kind of like a hub of pharmaceutical companies. At the time, I ran an institute for hypnotherapy and healing. We're talking, oh my goodness, what, 30 years ago now? And I'm another year older. So what happened was I'm 10 hours away from that location. But you may have heard about an earthquake that happened in New Jersey. It was a few months ago. And what happened is I woke up that morning, and of course, in the morning, I ran to the loo. And all of a sudden, I got really, really nauseous. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm totally nauseous. So I was like, I knew I wouldn't make it through it. So I was like, I'm just going to go lay back down again. That was probably around 7:30 in the morning. Next thing you know, I think I'm in a deep meditation. So when I'm in a deep meditation, sometimes I'm out for an hour. Sometimes I'm out for 3 hours. Sometimes I'm out for 5 hours. Okay. I have no control over that. So literally all of a sudden, I'm feeling this incredible shaking. And I'm like thinking to my guides, like, why the heck are you shaking me? Now it's going on and it's going on and it's going on. And I'm like, okay. I got so pissed at them shaking me the entire bed that I woke up, right? And I was literally gonna yell at them and say, stop shaking me, which is kind of funny because if you knew me, I really don't get frustrated and I don't get angry and I don't get upset. But I was like about to like yell at them. I wake up, I look around, and nobody's there. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, well, that was a really real dream. And so I felt a little bit better after the shaking happened. And I got up, started to make some breakfast, and I did something I never do, which I went and I turned on the TV. And I went to the Weather Channel. And all of a sudden on the Weather Channel, everybody in New York and New Jersey is talking about this earthquake that just hit. This earthquake hit in the exact location that I used to live. Now, what's uncanny about that is I'm now 10 hours away in a totally different location. And I literally felt it. I also have to let you know that the place that the acreage was, the house was, I am convinced there were underground things going on. That I can tell you so many stories from that property. It's not even funny. So the very first thing that I thought of is, oh, they have now alleviated another DUMB, for lack of another way to explain it. So I'm watching the news going, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm 10 hours away. That's so weird that I felt that. So I walked outside, talked to a few people, and I'm like, oh my goodness, did you feel that earthquake? Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, there was no earthquake. I'm like, yes, there was. I felt it. I felt it. They're like, no, there was no earthquake. And I'm like, well, okay. All right, there's no earthquake. In the meantime, the people who had come to the area came because a tree had fallen, thank goodness, forward, because we had gone through all of these crazy storms in this area that I'm staying. And I mean, trees, huge trees were down. There were winds that were unbelievable, electrical outages, you name it, everything was going on. So the guy turned around and he goes, "Oh, you probably just felt the tree fall." But the fact is I knew that tree had fallen a few days before. So the day goes by and they're talking about, well, there might be an afterquake in New Jersey, you know, and sure enough, a few hours later, all of a sudden, I get like this huge shaking feeling, and they report the earthquake, afterquake. Turns out the afterquake was exactly the location where my institute was. Okay? My point is, you end up living in certain positions and places and locations because there is often some form of energy that you either need to be there to hold or to help or to move through. And once you are connected to that location, you can always connect back. So whether or not the physical earth shook where I was is to be determined. Although 2 days later, I spoke to somebody who actually also felt it 10 hours away. But regardless, both of those locations, huge amounts of energy were put in, and I had done huge clearings. Now we're talking 25 years ago. So it's just been one crazy ride after another. At the same time, with all of these energies coming in, I am literally vibrating every second of the day, and I truly don't know what's going to hit next. So for those of you who are moving into that phase, don't be afraid of it. It's really okay. As a matter of fact, it's so exciting because you are expanding. Your light body is connecting where it needs to do. Your light body and your guides know what to do. The only thing you can do is ease into it. That's why I said all of the ease, okay? You're going to have weird things. All right, I could not even hold a phone without getting huge pain in my solar plexus. And it would release when I stepped away from the phone. But the minute I heard any negative information or disinfo, I could literally almost throw up. So that's how sensitive I became. I actually still am. On top of that, the minute, let's say I would try to go on Telegram to check something out, anybody who posted with emojis, I couldn't even look. It was like my brain went into this crazy synapses and it literally just could not function. So this is why I always recommend to people to, get outside, turn off the electronics, do whatever you can do, just not to overload your system. Your system knows what it needs to do. This is, again, the reason, not medical advice, but go back and listen to my other videos, why treating ascension symptoms with medication is not the answer. Also, I really want to tell you about the next 3 months. This is one of the biggest battles of the mind coming up. I am not going to lie. About a month and a half ago, with the energies right after the eclipse, we went through such negative pockets that I honestly was concerned about humanity really continuing to evolve because we are moving quickly. And it turned out that we just got so much help from star beings and from everywhere. And the clearings just needed to be done. They continue to need to be done. And each and every one of you are important. I can't stress this enough. Even if all you do is step outside your little location, set a little square around you, and just honor and preserve and pray into, meaning the loving energy into the area for Mother Earth to hold on to, sending love up through the central sun, doing whatever you can helps all of us, you have no idea. The more time you spend going within and really just allowing yourself to try to live in the now moment, the further we all get. So this is a battle, and we have made it so far. But those pockets of energy that we're clearing and we were moving to outside, gone, finished, those have been so strong. But the good news is we made a lot of progress. But now all that hidden, in a sense, all that unseen energy is going to show up in people, in situations who have not integrated that energy, making them somewhat crazy, making information crazy, making more and more misinformation come out. So you want to prepare as much as you possibly can, because the only thing you can do is not let your mind and your ego, false identity take over. You must do everything to live in the now moment. If you're having an anxiety attack, which you could have because of the high energies, you simply breathe deep. You put on something soothing and relaxing or a happy movie, whatever your thing is, and you go inside in your heart and you turn around, you call on your soul family, your tribe, and you tell yourself, I am okay in this now moment. Everything is being provided for. I am being watched over. I am safe. I am loved. You put yourself in that protective bubble around you once, twice, 3 times. You call in your highest and best, and you will move through it. You need to physically feel some of these reactions because your light body is moving forward, is progressing, and you are connecting to all of these different dimensions. Pretty much, don't even count on the fact that you're, in 3 or 4D. Just keep moving further ahead. But does that mean the people around you aren't playing out old roles? No. Many are still very, very stuck, and they will go their own way. The eclipse to the equinox was a time in which you should have spent cleansing, healing, throwing out old things that you didn't need, old ideas that no longer serve you, like I have to work 15 hours a day in order to get ahead, and all these old, outdated ideas. All right? Once you clear clutter from a closet, you don't bring all that crap back in, do you? You've had major clearings, whether you know it or not, from the eclipse to the equinox, which was June. Our summer solstice was June 21st. So don't bring all the old stuff back in. And understand that as you get together with people and you see people and you hear mainstream media and all this stuff, it's going to get more bizarre. It's going to get so bizarre. You're going to be sitting there looking at it going, this is so ridiculous. How can this person next to me not see it? Why can't they see it? And here is part of the answer. Either because, again, their soul came for a reason to experience negativity and not to evolve, and that is their right, so just let them be. Or they're being controlled or manipulated, or they literally don't have a soul. So when you are looking at individuals or you're getting feelings, literally, if you're feeling something is really off, walk away. Leave as quickly as you can. Do not engage. And whatever you do, more and more people are going to start really holding tight onto their stories again. They're right about this. They're right about this. They're right about this. No, let it go. Let it go. You are evolving, which means that literally the most important thing that you can do is you can let them be who they need to be, get away from it, be compassionate, hold your own power, be, empathetic, not a pushover, I mean, set boundaries for yourself, but make sure you are not one of the ones who are generating material that divides us. We are moving as a collective. We are making great progress. It does not matter what you see in the next few months on any media channel. You are going to probably see also parts of Telegram, parts of these other areas, literally people just disappearing because they were created with artificial intelligence as bots. Some of them were never real. So you have to let go of the attachment too of who told you the information and standing up for that person, yet moving in your heart and knowing you're doing the right thing. If someone is looking for education, that's great. Spend the time, love on them, be generous, be kind-hearted. But again, you are not here to save anybody. When you save yourself, if we all saved ourselves, we would move even further. So, in all of these energies, our light body is all that we care about integrating. And that means, again, some of the things that I've spoken to you about before, which is, of course, everybody says it, making sure you're well hydrated. Don't forget about, a little pinch of Celtic sea salt underneath the tongue if you're feeling really off, some electrolytes like coconut water. And you may actually need more fats in your system. So I'm sorry for those people, for individuals who, if you don't eat meat, that's totally fine. But if you do, you may find you actually need more fat, duck fat, butter, lard, fat, animal protein fat, because it seems to balance you out. If there are healthy fats that do it for you, fantastic. Avocado, if you are a vegetarian, that's fantastic. Again, no judgment here, because each body, you have to think about your DNA and which groups you come from, which is part of the reason, which genetic lines, which star families, which is part of the reason people sometimes need to eat differently than other people. So you have to really listen to your heart. You have to talk to your body, even if it's turning around to your body and saying, okay, take a deep breath. I'm okay. You're okay. You're safe. You're safe. Everything is okay. You're a light worker. You're going to be pulled through this. You did not make it this far to be taken out now. All right? So remember, as I have always said, the only battle, the only place that they can get you is in your mind. And I will warn you, in all fairness, that when some electrical magnetic forces are being directed, although so many of them have been resolved, if one chooses to fall in to those types of energies, they are not going to think rationally. They're not going to pay attention when they're driving. They're not going to be able to control their thoughts, their feelings, anything like that. So make sure when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, you're putting yourself in a protective bubble, and you use the I do not consent. I do not consent to any manipulation of my energy. I do not consent to hijacking in my dreams. I do not consent to any negative entities in my area. And you will find your day goes so much easier and so much better. And whenever you get, whether it's heart palpitations, a quick headache, or blurry vision, or you feel like you're going to pass out, all of those things will pass. Rest when you need to rest. If you're finding the weather too difficult, if it's too hot, then relax at a temperature that's comfortable to you. Again, this is all about moving through the energies, and keep telling your body. I know it sounds crazy. Keep telling your body, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're doing such a fantastic job. Thank you for connecting to the universe. Thank you for helping me bring in all these new energies. Ooh, all these awful signs and feelings that I'm having, they are just me moving through, zipping through with Mother Earth. So, this is why I say, no matter what, with all those E's, you need to literally take every now moment as it comes. You should try not to put too much pressure on yourself. If you are in the midst of a transition and you're like, I don't even know what I feel like doing. I don't know what job I want. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know who I love or like any longer, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about that. That's a totally normal feeling because you are being totally remade. But you know how I said get rid of the clutter? Once that clutter is gone, don't bring it back in. So that means if your old habits were something like you would overwork 16, 18 hours a day in order to get paid a buck, don't go back to that old habit. Stand very firm and say, no, I can live in a universe. I am living in a universe that provides, that is abundant, that will bring me everything that I need. So be open-minded to what that is that you need. Be open-minded to the heart feeling of what it is that you want. But don't set the expectation so clearly that universe can't give it to you in a different way, because we're all changing. Everything is moving. Everything is dynamic. And things actually are looking for fantastic. But when I say fantastic, what I mean is all the dominoes are falling. And boy, I have a feeling we're going to see some crazy stuff. So in that case, I do agree with nothing can stop what is coming. I do agree with the fact that we are living in an unbelievable time and you are here to hold the light. And I am so honored to be back. I'm not sure when I will come on again because there is just so much going on. I also have other projects that I'm developing as all of this is happening to be able to help and get to more people. And I simply, obviously, can't do it alone. But I love you from the bottom of my heart. Please pop into YouTube or Buzzsprout. Let me know how you're doing, what symptoms you're having. If there is anything that I can do, that would be fantastic. Would love just to hear from you guys. And again, thank you to those who reached out. I really am well, and we really have made a lot of progress. And actually, it was kind of fun because Buzzsprout, which is where my major podcast goes through, and then there are all these ancillary podcasts. Obviously, on my downtime, people started to find me. And I have to tell you, the videos from a year ago still are relevant because they're the psychological process of breaking away from all of this. So if for any reason you're missing me, just go back and pop on one of those old videos. All right. And oh, I always forget to say, but feel free to like and subscribe. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Have a beautiful, glorious day. Hang in there and just let those energies come in. Love you.